Hi and good morning, everybody, and welcome to my desk. So, we've got another great Tuesday going on around here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So, I figured it's been a little while, so let's have a bit of a coffee clock, shall we? Because, ooh, child, do I have something to cluck about. Okay, so I'm not going to get into that whole man versus bear thing because that's been going on all over the place, but I will spill a little bit of tea on the TD Bank. That's right. Today I'm talking about the TD Bank. So, here in my area, I have an option of two banks, like from TD, whom I'm a customer of and have been for quite a few years. And when we say quite a few years, we're talking like 10, 15 years of being with the same bank. Now, keep in mind, I was previously a BMO customer whom I absolutely loved the Bank of Montreal, but unfortunately, because I moved to a small town, which was Steinbach, they didn't have a BMO available for me, so at that point, I ended up opening a TD account. So, fast forward many years to yesterday, and everybody that knows me knows that I'm pretty steadfast in my banking deposits and the monitoring of my accounts and things that need to be checked. I mean, I am a subcontractor, so I do carry, people's money, my own money, and, materials are purchased and everything goes as it goes. So, from time to time, I have clients that are of an older generation, which I'm completely fine with, and they issue me personal checks as opposed to e-transfer, credit card payment, or things of that nature. I don't mind that. I don't do it often, and just with today's banking technology, there's generally not a great deal of reason to accept a personal check. I mean, I'm sure everybody out there knows e-transfer is very, very quick, simple, or a number payment, and I mean, it's done. So, I mean, I'm usually pretty good in those. But if I have an older client, I will make exceptions for them, and of course, then alert the bank and let them know that there's going to be these exceptions, meaning that for this contract and this client of their renovations, I'm going to be accepting personal checks. So there will be a need to, make sure that the funds are of course good, and we all deal with that. So I have this client who wants a complete renovation of her living space, all of everything: flooring, walls, bedrooms, bathroom, kitchen, cabinetries, everything. So we've taken essentially a 1980s trailer and taken all the press board and the thin crap that's in it, essentially in the way it was built originally, and we've drywalled and we've added, and of course there's been a few videos of the start of this project. And of course, there will be more as we go. But in this process, of course, the client pays for materials that they are going to need, as we've discussed in the beginning of the contract, as to, their particular needs of the contract, meaning she's going to need drywall, she's going to need flooring, she's going to need mud, tape, and all these other things that are encompassed with it. And of course, the client is made very well aware of that, and so in the beginning of the contract, she issues me payment for said materials, as we've discussed, and she knows exactly what we're purchasing and what it's going to cost. So she issues me the payment. I take the payment to the bank. It's a personal check. The bank says, okay, well, this is a large amount of money, and you've never accepted a check from this individual before, so we're going to hold it for 5 business days, and we're going to make sure that the funds are there. No issue. Okay, I understand that. Absolutely. That's more than reasonable, considering that the check was in and around $5,000. So, I don't take that lightly. Of course, I would allow the bank and say, yes, absolutely, do that. That's appropriate. Okay? Fast forward a week, and we get to the point where I'm invoicing my client for man hours. And this is just to ensure that my men are paid and they're happy and the work continues and everybody keeps the flow. The first week she issues it to me, I go to my bank on St. Anne's. It's not my home branch. I mean, my home branch is on St. Mary's. But I go to St. Anne's because I was on my way up that way anyway, and it was the closest branch. I whip in there, I drop the check, and the cashier took it, done. No issues. And why should there be? A week previously, she just sent through and was successful in cashing a $5,000 check for her materials in my account. So I have no reason to believe whatsoever that there's anything awry with this person, nor does the bank, or at least the St. Anne's branch. So, again, fast forward another week, and we get to a point where, again, I invoice for man hours and, pay my men. I decide I'm going to my home branch yesterday, which is the St. Mary's, and I believe the address is 1631 on St. Mary's. And I walk into my home branch and I, give the check to the teller, and I say I'd like to deposit this into my account and I need access to the funds so that I can pay my manpower. And the teller looks at the check. Oh, okay, click. I'm sorry, there's going to be a 5 to 7 business day hold on this check because we can't verify the funds. Oh, you can't make a 5-minute phone call to the corresponding bank, and which many banks have done in the past. I mean, I've seen it. I've been there when it's happened. And ensure that the funds are there so that I can pay my manpower. You're going to stand in the way of me paying my men. That's interesting. Bring me your manager. The manager comes over. I explain to her, look, there should be no hold on these funds anymore. Because last week I cashed a check that was even a little bit bigger than this one without any hold at all. And now you're telling me I need to hold a check after 2 checks of the same client have cleared in the thousands. And one for like $1,600 to pay a couple of guys. You see my issue, right? Like, there's no sense made here. To which the bank manager and teller tell me, well, if the St. Anne's branch cashed it for you, then you should probably go there. Are you kidding me? Okay, listen, useless. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to call a spade here. That whole branch is useless beyond all comprehension. This isn't the first time that I've run into issues with this branch in particular. They have a really interesting way of not wanting to perform duties for customers, of not wanting to do services, of not wanting to do anything really outside of the 2 seconds they want to give you when you come to either pick up some cash or whatever. So they're going to then tell you, they're a TD, you're a TD member, to go to another TD. For what? You're the same bank. Doesn't matter if the St. Anne's bank cashed 2 of her checks. You're TD. That's my home branch. What are you on? Like, seriously. Someone smoked some bad crack over there yesterday or what? And it really does astound me that you all have jobs. Just saying. I mean, and again, this isn't my first interaction with you all. I mean, I miss Steinbach. Boy, I gotta tell you, that branch was efficient. I mean, those guys knew how to handle their customers. When I went up, they knew who I was. I could speak to the manager at any time if I needed anything at all. There was very rarely an issue with anything. Until I switched to the St. Mary's location and made them my home branch, which I'm honestly considering my whole banking as a whole, just so you know. Because at the end of the day, as an owner and a tradesperson, and as someone that works really hard at my job, and my men work really hard at their job, and they deserve to be paid. They don't deserve for me to have to run around half the afternoon first going to my branch and then being told, oh no, go to that one. Like, what's wrong with you? If you're not willing to serve the public, then find other employment. Find another line of work. But you're in the service of serving the public. I mean, let's be real. It's my banking fees and everybody else that's a customer of yours that's paying your salaries. And since the manager at the St. Mary's branch, 1631 to be specific, anybody that banks in the Winnipeg area, I would avoid that branch. That branch is horrible. Those people in there are nuts. Like, I honestly, I don't understand. I just don't. It baffles me. So, thank you sincerely to the St. Anne's manager, who was nice enough to help her teller out and to come to the front desk and to assist me so that, yes, yesterday my manpower was paid on time as they're supposed to be. So, I think I would be looking at why one branch is such a pain in the butt versus the other one that just up the street was all too willing to help me. And by the way, I told that manager about the one on St. Mary's and her staff, because no, honey, you do not get to treat me that way. Sorry. You think just because I came in there in my work gear, my steel toes, and my high-vis vest, and my cap, that I was a nobody, and I wasn't worth your time, essentially, because that's just the vibe you definitely gave. Aside from the fact that when I walked in there was like 2 tellers on, and there was 2 customers that looked like they were having a lengthy issue that needed addressing. And she didn't even bother to get up to come to help anybody until probably after about almost 15 minutes standing there in line as I'm watching people walk in and stand in behind me. And finally, after the 5th person walked in and got in line, that's when she decided she was going to get up and service and help. To which she was no help at all. And rude and condescending and just useless. So I'm sorry to everybody at the St. Mary's branch, but you guys are a total disgrace to the bank. I don't even know why you're there. Personally, I'll never go back to that branch, and I'll never recommend anybody to go to that branch. In fact, I'm feeling a little bit butthurt by TD in general, considering I have been such a long-time customer, and you would allow or have your staff treat people that way? It's not cool, dude. Definitely not cool. It doesn't mean to say that you're for the working guy, or you're for the tradespeople, which I often thought TD's reputation was known for, so since that isn't the case, I'm rethinking my whole banking needs. Might want to go back to BMO. They were at least easy to address, and they were at least, every branch was the same. I never had one branch treat me differently from the next when I was dealing with Bank of Montreal. So I might just go back that route. Take all my accounts and everything and move over. Wouldn't be hard. So anyway, that is my coffee cluck for today, and I want to hear about you and your banking experiences, especially if you've banked over at the St. Mary's location here in Winnipeg. Have you had any issues, or are the staff less than accommodating to you, or rather rude and condescending as they were so to me yesterday? And until next time, everybody, don't forget to hit subscribe and like. And if you haven't found it already, go look for my birthday video. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like to that and leave a comment. And if you don't know what to comment, just say hi or liked or watched. And either way, my algorithm would very much appreciate it. I want to thank everybody out there for joining in and staying tuned and coming along with me on my coffee clock today. And until next time, everybody, bye!